My beloved child, have you ever asked yourself, why is God silent in the moments I hurt the most? It's not a new question yet. It echoes in the hearts of countless souls walking through the deserts of life, carrying burdens that seem impossible to lay down. And if today you are hearing these words, consider this a sign. You are not here by chance, not in this moment. I have something to say to you. Once again, it is a letter from God, quiet, unadorned, but soaked in love. Once again, a gentle message sent to children trying to smile even as their hearts bleed. Today, I do not bring you a glittering miracle. I bring you a truth no one can take away from you. You are loved even when you feel unlovable. You see, the world today excels at teaching you how to hide your wounds. Polished social media feeds and success defined by perfection, all these lead you to believe the broken parts of yourself must remain unseen. You fear that if anyone glimpsed your cracks, they would turn away. But I see those very cracks and I call them beautiful. Beautiful not because they are flawless, but because they bear witness to a journey you refuse to surrender. I am proud of you for enduring trials that could have crushed a more fragile soul. I've seen every tear you've hidden in the night. I've watched you summon strength amid heartbreak. And I tell you now, with the full love of a father, you are not invisible. From the moment you were formed, I saw the extraordinary potential nestled in your heart, a unique purpose intricately woven into the fabric of your being. No matter how many times you've strayed, I've never stopped seeing the light within you. That light, even if just a flicker in the darkness, can ignite hope not just in you, but in those around you. And the miracle is that light often shines brightest when you pass through pain you thought you could never survive. You may not realize it, but it is in the very breaking of your heart that space is made for me to enter. I am especially proud of how you faced your wounds. Rather than letting past pain turn you bitter, you've transformed it into a wellspring of compassion. Pain hasn't made you hard, it has made you deeper, gentler. You've taken the shards of your experience, and rather than hide them, you've let them form a mosaic, a breathtaking portrait of redemption and grace. My beloved child, I know. There have been moments when you've doubted yourself, when you've faced rejection, failure, when others made you feel small and insignificant. You wondered, do I have any worth at all? And I want you to hear this not just with your ears, but with your soul. Your worth is not measured by the judgments of others, but by my unconditional love for you. The world tells you that worth is measured by degrees, achievements, fame, and recognition. But I, the creator of the universe, do things differently. I do not choose those who are already worthy. I make the chosen worthy. You do not have to wait until you are okay to come to me. I love you even in your brokenness. And if today you feel weary trying to appear strong while unraveling inside, then just breathe. Just breathe. And listen as I say this. You don't have to be strong alone anymore, because you were never alone to begin with. You live in an age where everyone is racing to prove themselves. And yet the paradox is this: the more they try to prove, the emptier they feel. Because there is a hollow space that no title or accomplishment can fill, a space only true love can satisfy. That love does not come from the crowd. It comes from me, the one who knows you best, loves you most, and has never, not for a single second, abandoned you. So today, if you feel like a failure, know that I do not see failure. I see a soul learning to grow through pain. If you feel like you are not enough, know that I am always enough for you. Enough love, enough strength, enough peace. You do not need to come to me as the best version of yourself. Just come as you are, even if all you carry is tears. And you will see it is in the very wounds that I perform my miracles. If you are willing, I will take you further into a journey of healing and rebirth. But first, let these words be engraved upon your heart. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are chosen not because you are perfect, but because you dared to keep going even after falling. My precious child, there are moments in life when you lower your head before the mirror, not to examine your face, but to avoid your own gaze. In that mirror, all you see are wounds, failures, and reasons to believe you are no longer worthy. I know. There are times when you feel like a broken piece, a vessel so cracked it cannot be mended. But today I speak to you with all the sincerity of a father. I love you, even in those cracks. You once thought my love was reserved for the better ones, the souls who had never stumbled. But in truth, I do not love your soul because you are flawless. I love you because I am love, and I have chosen to place that love upon you no matter your condition. Your wounds do not make you less lovable, on the contrary. They are where I see your extraordinary courage, the place where you chose to rise, even when no one knew how many times you had fallen. Do not hide your scars, my faithful one. The world teaches you to silence your pain, to pretend it never existed. But I am not the world. I invite you to bring your broken pieces to me, not only so I may heal them, but so I may turn them into glory. I am the one who breathed life into dust. Do you not believe I can create beauty from your ashes? There is a truth you must carve into your heart. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. When you feel exhausted, when all efforts seem in vain, that is when I draw nearest. Do you think I come only to empower the strong? No, my child. I come to strengthen those who dare to admit they are weak and in need of me. Imagine a pearl formed through the relentless irritation of sand. Painful, uncomfortable, yet from that friction beauty is born. Your pain is like that, it is not meaningless. Every tear you shed, every night you've wrestled in silent prayer, I have witnessed. And more than that, I am using all of it to refine your soul, to make it purer and more radiant than ever. This is not punishment, it is divine alchemy. Did you know that in Buddhist teaching there is a principle known as turning suffering into wisdom? They believe pain is fertile soil for the growth of insight, much like the lotus that rises from the mud. So too, my child, I do not allow your suffering without purpose. I permit it that your spirit may learn compassion, trust, and dependence on the eternal, on me. Look back over your life, the times you hit rock bottom, thought you wouldn't survive, and yet here you are still walking forward. It's not because you were so strong, but because I never left your side. The wounds you thought would destroy you have become doors through which my light enters. No wound is wasted when offered to me. I not only heal, I use your very pain to help you understand others and to bear witness to my unconditional love. My beloved child, if today you are still carrying a wound that has not yet healed, do not be afraid. I am not waiting for you to become strong before you may draw near to me. Even now, as your heart echoes with silent cries, I am already beside you, arms open wide. Do not be ashamed to weep. Do not fear your weakness, for it is there, right there, that I work miracles. In this world many wear masks, but I have called you to live with a bare, vulnerable heart. Only a heart laid bare can truly be moved by love. And that heart, that very place, is where I dwell. Let my love soothe your pain. Do not push away your emotions, for even your sorrow has a sacred voice. When you hurt, I hurt with you. When you weep, I remain silent but never distant. I hear every sob, every tear that falls. Do not think healing is a straight road. There will be days when it feels like you've returned to where you began. But remember, every scar is a victory. Every thread of suffering, if surrendered to me, becomes an instrument echoing the song of redemption. And when others hear you tell your story, they too will be healed, because hope will be rekindled from the ashes of their own pain. So my child, step out from the place where you've been hiding from yourself and let me take your hand. Even if you think you are unworthy, I say you are loved. Even if you feel not good enough, I say you are enough in me. No wound, no failure can separate my love from you, for it is in broken places that I write my most sacred words. My precious one, the world may tell you that only the accomplished, the flawless, the clean and blameless are worthy to step into greatness. But I am not the world. I am the one who formed your soul, who knows every shadow and every glimmer of light within you. I did not choose you because you were perfect, but because my love desires to accomplish something beautiful through you. Before you even knew yourself, I saw the greatness buried deep within you. Even if you were born into humility, raised through hardship, and have done things that brought shame, still, I have never withdrawn my gaze of hope. You see limitation, but I see a beginning. You see what is broken, but I see soil ready to receive the seeds of hope. Think of those I have called. I did not choose them after they had been refined by success, reputation, or status. Number. I called them in the midst of their hesitation. Like Moses, a stuttering shepherd, a man who once killed in anger, yet I chose him to deliver a nation. Or David, just a disregarded shepherd boy, but I saw in him a king. And Paul, once a persecutor of my church, became the mighty pen that wrote much of the New Testament. If I could call them, then I can call you too. I want you to understand, character is not the prerequisite for being chosen. It is the result of my calling and refining. When I place my hand upon someone's life, it does not mean they are already qualified. It marks the beginning of transformation. You do not need to come to me with a flawless resume. You only need to come with a willing heart. You feared that you are not holy enough, not worthy, not spiritual enough for me to use. But in that humility I see fertile ground in which to plant faith. Remember, I do not work best through the proud, but through those who know they need me. Only when you surrender can I shape you into the most beautiful version of who I created you to be. Do not think your past is a barrier. In my eyes, your past does not define you. It is simply the prologue to a story being written by my loving and powerful hand. No matter how many scars you bear, you are still the material through which I can work wonders. A cracked vessel, when filled with light, shines more brilliantly than one that is flawless but shrouded in darkness. You may ask me, why me? And I would ask you, why not you? Who said you must meet the world's standards to be chosen by me? Those standards do not apply in my kingdom. What I seek is not a perfect profile, but a faithful heart. I choose the heart that is willing to learn, the soul that dares to step forward even while trembling. Remember when I called Paul, he was not in the temple praying or living a righteous life. He was on the road pursuing believers to persecute them. But I chose that moment right in the midst of his error and blindness to reveal my radiant light. Likewise, I can call you at the very moment you feel furthest from me. Do not wait until you have fixed yourself to come. Come first and let me be the one to restore you with love and grace. My child, I see you hesitating. I know fear is causing you to pause, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of being judged. But I do not call you only to abandon you. If I am the one who planted the seed of vision in your heart, then I am also the one who will water it, nurture it, and bring it to bloom. My equipping is not just in words of promise, but in steady daily acts of faithfulness. Every trial, every delay, every rejection is part of my training ground for your soul's maturity. I do not need you to walk in perfection. I need you to walk in obedience. What pleases me is not your record of achievements, but the feet that keep moving even when trembling. I choose the willing over the ready. For when you are willing, I can prepare everything else. So if today you hear these words and feel I am not enough, then you are exactly the one I am speaking to. You are the one in whom I desire to begin something miraculous. For my choosing is never based on what human eyes can see, but on what I have already seen since before you were born. You may not see yourself as mighty, but I see in you a heart big enough to carry greatness. You may not feel strong, but I am your strength. You may not know the way, but I am your way. And if you walk with me, what I have destined for you, no one can hinder. My beloved, your life has always been filled with unpredictable turns. There are moments when you stand at a crossroads, on one side, overwhelming fear, on the other, a faith still formless. I have seen you struggle in the dark, trying to make sense of what is happening. But even then, though your heart trembled, you dared to take one small step toward me. You did not see the whole path, but you chose to believe. And that right there is where miracles begin. My faithful one, what makes you precious to me is not flawless bravery, but the choice to trust in the midst of uncertainty. I do not ask you to always be strong. I simply ask for obedience even when you do not yet see the outcome. That obedience, small as a mustard seed, when combined with my love, can move mountains you once thought immovable. Do you remember Daniel? A young man taken into exile, surrounded by a foreign culture, faced with temptations and trials. Yet in the heart of mighty Babylon, Daniel did not forget his faith. When the decree came forbidding prayer, he did not react in anger nor retreat in fear. He simply did what he had always done. He knelt, opened his window toward Jerusalem, and prayed. Daniel 6. That simple obedience led him to be thrown into the lion's den. But it was that same uncompromising faith that opened the door for my supernatural protection. I sent an angel to shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel walked out of the darkness without a single wound. You see, it was faith in the midst of trial that became the foundation upon which I revealed my glory. And that, my child, is what I long to do through your life as well. You often think obedience is something grand, something that demands perfection and complete understanding. But true obedience doesn't require you to see the whole picture. It only asks for a heart willing to say, even though I don't understand, I will still take a step. Obedience is when you say yes to me, even when everything around you tells you to say no. I do not overlook a single act of faith. Every time you choose to pray instead of complain, to love instead of resent, to hope instead of grow bitter, each time you are opening your heart to the movement of my power. My beloved child, I know there are times when you think I believe in God, but I'm still afraid. I want you to understand, faith doesn't mean the absence of fear. Faith is walking forward despite the fear because you trust I am walking beside you. I have never asked you to completely silence your emotions in order to be close to me. I invite you to bring your fear, your worry, your weakness to me, and allow me to turn them into strength. Do not be afraid, just believe. Those were my words to a father grieving the imminent death of his daughter. Mark 5:3-6. And I speak the same words to you now. When the situation turns dark and your heart is trembling, remember, faith does not require sight. It only requires you to take my hand and walk. Obedience is not slavery. It is the courageous act of a soul choosing to trust in one far beyond human understanding. When you obey, you do not lose yourself. You discover the very person I created you to be. Do not be afraid if your journey doesn't look like everyone else's. Uncode. Don't be confused when the path you take is not met with approval. Sometimes obeying me means going against the current. Yet it is this very distinction in faith that marks a life that belongs to an unshakable kingdom. I remember every moment you stood firm in silence when you could have rebelled. I remember every time you chose to forgive instead of retaliate, every small prayer whispered in the middle of the night. None of these are invisible to me. Heaven has echoed with the sounds of those seemingly small acts. For obedience in secret brings reward in the open. My child, you are not alone. Just as I was with Daniel in the lion's den, I am with you in the most suffocating of circumstances. When it seems like everything is against you, remember, my presence is not measured by emotion but by promise. And I have promised never to leave you, and I do not break my word. You will see when you live by faith and obedience, life won't necessarily become easier, but you will become stronger. Every day of obedience shapes you more into my image. And when you look back, you'll be amazed at how much you've changed. You are no longer who you once were. Faith and obedience are the two doors into a transformed life. One opens to reveal my power. The other opens so you can walk into the mission you were created for. Without faith, you will circle endlessly and worry. Without obedience, faith remains only a theory. Let each day be a new yes. Whether in your words, your thoughts, or your actions, live as if I am beside you, because truly I always am. Change doesn't happen all at once, but through each step, each prayer, each loving action. And you will see the very moment you surrender to me, you become the strongest and most radiant version of yourself. So my child, do not wait until the doubts are gone to begin. Do not wait until fear disappears to start believing. Just keep walking, keep trusting, keep obeying, and let me handle the rest. My faithful one, I know there have been moments when you've looked back at your life with regret. Perhaps you've whispered in your heart, if only I had lived differently. Perhaps you carry memories you've never dared to share, afraid others would leave you, or worse, agree with the accusing voice that says you're not enough. But today, I want you to hear this clearly, not with your ears, but with your soul. Your past does not define you. I know every turn you've taken, every mistake you've made, every decision that left you wounded. But my child, I do not look at you as one who condemns. I look at you as a father who sees the hidden beauty beneath the falls. There is nothing I cannot redeem. No stain strong enough to erase the mark I placed on you from the very beginning. Do you think I didn't see the tears you cried after your failures? I was there not to accuse, but to wait. I did not cast you aside when you had given up on yourself. I did not hesitate to draw near to you on the days you felt like nothing but failure. On the contrary, I stepped even closer because I knew your heart needed holding more than ever. Have you ever seen a potter at work? He doesn't discard a cracked vessel. He reshapes it patiently, mends each fragment, then fires it in the kiln again to make something new, stronger, and one of a kind. In the same way, I do not throw you away because of your mistakes. I am reshaping you with my own power and grace, crafting you into a new creation, more beautiful, deeper, and able to touch the broken souls of others. I have used those whom the world called too far gone to shine the brightest light. Paul, once a persecutor of the church, became a herald of grace. David, a king who once committed adultery and murder, was called a man after my own heart. Why do I include these stories in Scripture? Because I want you to know no one, not even you, is beyond redemption. My child, I know you may feel that you've missed your chance. But remember, I am the creator of time, not bound by moments. When I look at you, I see not just who you were yesterday. I see who you are becoming today and who you will be tomorrow, the one I am walking with into a new destiny. Each day lived in grace is a step out of the old verdict and into my divine plan. There will always be people who remind you of your past. They'll speak of your old mistakes, look at you through the lens of who you once were. But I am not them. I do not keep records of wrongs, nor hold on to your failures to shame you. I see only one thing in you, the hope of transformation. When I forgive, I forget. And when I forget, I never call back what you once did to keep you from moving forward. Remember this. My beloved, mistakes are the soft soil where grace takes root. If you never fell, how would you know the sweetness of being lifted? If you never failed, how could you understand mercy? The ones I use most powerfully are not those who never stumbled, but those who dared to return, keep walking, and let me write the unfinished story. You often see your life as a chain of unerasable failures, but I see it as a painting still in progress. You may only notice the messy strokes of today, but I, the artist, see the full canvas. And in my eyes, it is not chaos. It is full of promise. I did not create you to be a prisoner of your mistakes. I created you to turn wounds into testimonies, to turn pain into compassion, and to turn personal failures into living lessons through which others can find hope. My child, you are not bound by yesterday. When you return to me, I do not merely cleanse your past, I redefine it. The things that once brought you shame now become the places where you are strongest, and the stories you once kept hidden become doors that lead others closer to me. Maybe you think others will never forgive you. Maybe you haven't yet forgiven yourself. But do you know this? I have already forgiven you, and I'm waiting for you to receive that forgiveness as a gift. Don't keep yourself locked in the prison of guilt when the door is already open and I'm standing there with arms wide open. Every morning you wake up is a new chapter I've given you. I withhold no good thing from you just because you've made mistakes. On the contrary, because you've known failure, I know you'll cherish what's new, and you'll use what you've learned to love, to serve, and to lead others more humbly, more deeply, and more authentically than ever before. You may be used to punishing yourself every time the past resurfaces. You hold on to old memories like charges in a courtroom, replaying them as if the verdict is still pending. But I ask you, how long will you carry what I've already forgiven? You may think punishment proves repentance, that guilt keeps you disciplined. But I don't want you living in torment. I want you living in restoration. I never called you to dwell in regret. I called you to live a new life, lifted by mercy, sustained by grace. True repentance isn't about nailing yourself to your past, it's about turning around, walking in the light, and refusing to look back into the shadows. Sometimes it is you who clings tightly to your old sins, while I cast them into the sea of forgetfulness long ago. I didn't wait for you to do better to forgive you. I already have. And I'm inviting you to believe that, to live differently, not out of fear of rejection, but from the certainty of being loved. The more you dwell in my love, the further you'll walk from your old patterns, from the self you once stumbled in. It is faith in my forgiveness that breaks the chains of sin. And when you forgive yourself, you're agreeing with me that grace is greater than the past. Don't let old memories rob you of the present. I have given you today to live, to love, to begin again, to start a chapter I long to write with you. Your past, however painful, cannot stop what I can do in you now unless you allow it. You are not a finished story. You are a manuscript still being written. I'm waiting to inscribe new lines, lines of healing, restoration, and purpose. Every day is a blank page, and I am writing it with you. All I need is a willing heart and faith the size of a mustard seed. So, my beloved child, lift your head. The past is not your home, it is only the path you've walked through. And if you once fell, then now you are the living proof of resurrection. Not by your own strength, but by the grace I have poured out on you. I placed you in this life not to carry the weight of guilt, but to bear witness to a love that knows no condition. Every scar you carry is a chapter in the redemption symphony I'm composing through your life. Therefore, walk in the freedom of grace. Don't let your past imprison you for one more day. You are forgiven, you are loved, you are chosen, and you are allowed to begin again every single day in my embrace. My dear child, have you ever wondered why you seem to go from one sorrow to the next? Why some prayers seem unanswered? Why others move forward with ease while you walk on uneven paths and stumble? I see those questions in your heart. I do not blame you for doubting, for you are human, and I am the one always waiting to answer you with truth. The first thing I want you to know is this: no trial in your life is meaningless. Every event, even the smallest, is a brick I have placed precisely in the grand design I have for you. Not a single tear you've shed has gone unnoticed. Not a single pain has escaped my gaze. And there is not one day of struggle that has not shaped a stronger, deeper, more radiant version of you. Someone once said, "No mud, no lotus." In Buddhist teachings, suffering is the soil from which wisdom grows. As the Buddha once taught, no one can understand life until they have tasted suffering. Likewise, my child, I do not send trials to crush you, but to open your eyes, expand your heart, and draw you closer to me. It is through hardship that you learn what peace alone could never teach. There are lessons only pain can teach. True humility does not come in success, but in moments of loss. Compassion is not forged through theory, but through shared suffering. And faith, my beloved, does not spring up on sunny days. It is born in darkness when you can't see me, but still choose to hold on to me. When you walk through trials, I am not watching from a distance. I am in the very midst of them, training you, refining you, and speaking to your soul in a language deeper than words. Every discomfort is a classroom. Every misunderstanding is a lesson in kindness. Every silence from me is not abandonment, but elevation, for only in perseverance does faith truly grow and take root. Have you ever seen a seed? Before it grows into a tree, it must break open in the dark, without light, without applause, without anyone knowing. Yet in that darkness, life is quietly forming. So it is with your trials. They may look like breaking, like failure, but in my eyes it is the sacred process of your spiritual seed taking root and beginning to grow. I know you are tired. There are days when you want to give up, nights when you say, "Lord, I don't understand why it's so hard." But let me tell you this, I didn't call you to comfort, I called you to grow. And true growth never comes from ease. It comes through fire. But I am the refiner, and I will never let the flames exceed what you can bear. Each time you feel like breaking, I am there holding you steady with my strength. Your trials won't last forever, but the person they are shaping, that will endure eternally. One day when you look back, you'll say, "Thank you, Lord, for the hard days, because without them I wouldn't be who I am today." I am not training you just to survive. I am teaching you to live worthy of the calling I placed in you from the very beginning. I never waste pain. I never abandon a student halfway through their refining. If you are in the fire, know that I am right there, tending it not to destroy you, but to purify you. Just as the Japanese art of kintsugi uses gold to restore broken pottery, I too use my light and love to mend every crack in you, so you are not only healed but more precious than ever before. My child, do not compare your journey to anyone else's. They may not have walked through the fire as you have, but they were not molded for the same mission. You are unique. And everything I allow to happen in your life is also unique, crafted specifically to prepare you for the purpose I have destined for you. Every hardship, every delay, every failure is part of the training program for your soul so that it may one day be able to carry the glory I will place upon you. So, courageous one, do not judge me by your circumstances. Do not think that because you suffer I do not love you. It is precisely because I love you so deeply that I will not let you remain in the shallows. I lead you into the depths, not to make you lost, but so that you may find yourself fully in me. There is a lesson you will only understand when you accept this truth, that suffering does not weaken you, it teaches you how to surrender. And when you surrender, I begin to move. When you stop resisting, you will see that I have always been holding your hand, guiding you, arranging every detail even when you cannot see it. Therefore, patient soul, if you are in the wilderness, do not give up. If you are in the midst of the storm, do not fear. And if you are weeping in silence, remember I am listening. The trials you face today will become the foundation of the testimony you will give tomorrow. And you will not merely survive, you will emerge from the fire brighter, stronger, and more alive. So hold on. I am training you not to confine you, but to release the greatness I placed within you. Transformation never happens in comfort. It happens when you dare to go to the very end of your limits, only to discover that I am the one who never places limits on you. My beloved child, have you ever compared yourself to others and sighed? You see their remarkable talents, their eloquence, their stable lives, and you think, if only I were like them. But, my dear, let me ask you this, if everyone were a copy, who would be you? Who would live out the distinct design I have intricately woven just for you? Listen carefully, you are not a random product. Even before your form came into being, I watched over your soul in your mother's womb. Every cell, every thought, every ability, even your limitations, was woven together without error. I did not create you to blend in. I created you to carry a distinct hue, a unique voice, an irreplaceable role in my eternal design. You are my craftsmanship, a one-of-a-kind creation born for a purpose that defies all molds. As I declared in Ephesians 2:10, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. The word handiwork in Greek is poema, also the root of the word poem. This means your life is a poem I wrote with love, each line and stanza unrepeatable. You may think there's nothing special about you. You may not speak well or calculate quickly or know how to navigate social media or have a remarkable career. But do you know this? It is exactly that unlike anyone else quality that is the key to your purpose. I do not need you to excel by the world's standards. I need you to live fully in the material I have given you, for only then can the true light within you shine purely and without pretense. Every person I create is an irreplaceable piece of the kingdom's mosaic. And if you do not live out your part, there will be a gap. Do not strive to become someone else. You were not made to imitate, you were made to shine in the one-of-a-kind form I chose for you. You may feel slower than others. You may have been called too ordinary. But I see you and I call that ordinariness wonderfully good. Not because it matches what the world expects, but because it reflects my image in a way that has never existed before and will never exist again. I did not create you simply because I needed one more human on this planet. I created you because there is something that needs to be done that only you can do. A soul needs to hear your story. A wounded heart needs your compassion. A broken world needs your voice, even if only a whisper, because it carries truth from me. I have placed within you certain gifts. Some are easy to recognize, while others will only emerge through trials, through brokenness, through refining. And my dear, do not despair if you have not yet blossomed. Every seed needs time. Every purpose has a season of hiding. When I hide you, it does not mean I have forgotten you. It means I am preparing you. Because you were crafted uniquely, you will also be trained in a unique way. There are things others won't have to go through, but you must. There are roads others walk with ease, but yours may be rugged. And precisely because of this, when you mature, your voice will carry weight. You will not speak from books, you will speak from a soul that has walked through fire. and others will recognize the difference, for what is true always touches the deepest place. I want you to stop dreaming of someone else's life. I want you to love the life I designed just for you, because when you embrace it and step into it, you will see everything fall into place. Relationships, opportunities, open doors, they will begin to appear like miracles, not because you deserve them by human measure, but because you are finally stepping into the divine blueprint. Do not fear that your purpose is too small. There is no purpose too small when it comes from me. Do you think those who cleaned the temple, trimmed the lamps, and guarded the gates were unimportant? But in my eyes, faithfulness in the smallest things brings the greatest reward. You don't need the spotlight. You only need the true light from within, the light I placed in you from the beginning of creation. You may never be famous, but you will leave an impact. You may never earn a title, but you will leave a mark. For in living fully as who you are, you worship me with your life, not through rituals, but through daily decisions, small acts that reveal obedience and trust. So, precious soul, if you have ever wondered, do I really matter? Then let me answer once and for all. You are my masterpiece. Not because of what you've done, but because your very existence is proof of my intentional love. Do not live under the shadow of comparison. Stand up, step into the life only you can live. And let this truth sink deep. I did not place you in this world to live like someone else. I placed you here to be a living testimony of a loving Creator who knows every soul and has a sacred purpose for each one. My gentle child, in a world that's growing harsher by the day, I know you've often asked, should I still keep my heart tender? When you are hurt, betrayed, misunderstood, your heart wants to build walls to guard itself, to turn cold so it won't be wounded again. But my child, it is in that very moment that I invite you to do the opposite. Keep your gentleness, for in my kingdom, victory does not come from overpowering others, but from steadfast love even when it is not returned. Gentleness is not weakness. It is the strongest expression of a soul transformed by me. A tender heart is one that still believes in goodness, even after walking through pain. And my dear, I see that tenderness in you. It is one of the most precious things you carry. The world will say, be strong, don't let anyone see your weakness. But I say, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. When you choose kindness over bitterness, you are partnering with me in the healing of the world. Every gentle word, every act of understanding, every moment of forgiveness, even when unseen by others, is remembered in heaven. Remember the Good Samaritan, the one who stopped to help a stranger left abandoned on the roadside. It wasn't the teacher of the law nor the priest, but the most unlikely, the despised Samaritan who chose to pause, bend down, and love through action. Luke 1:025-37. I told that story not merely to teach a moral lesson, but to reveal the essence of real love. True love does not ask, who is this person, but rather, what does this person need? And my child, I have seen you live like that Samaritan, quietly helping, patiently listening, wiping away tears, even as your own heart was bleeding. You may never receive applause for your compassion. You may have been taken advantage of, dismissed, or called too sensitive. But I, who see the hidden things, tell you this: your sensitivity is the very channel through which my love flows. No one can love quite the way you do, because your love has been tested and has chosen to continue even when it had every reason to stop. Some may warn you, don't give too much or you'll be hurt. But I teach you, whoever wants to be great among you must become the servant of all. The more you humble yourself, the more you are exalted in my eyes. For where you are humble, I am glorified. When you choose gentleness amid the noise, I am using you as a healing breeze in a troubled world. Know this, your softness is not just a personality trait, it is a spiritual instrument. Through that gentleness, you melt the ice around hardened hearts. Through compassion, you help others see my image in real life. It is not the loud sermon, but the small, loving act that truly moves hearts. I have placed in your path difficult, closed off, even hurtful people, not so you could change them with arguments, but so you could love them with patience. Many of them have never known what unconditional love feels like. And when they encounter true love in you, they begin to doubt the despair they've lived in, and they begin to seek me. Never underestimate the power of a heart that stays soft after the storm. You are living proof that a heart free from bitterness is possible, that even those who've been wounded can still choose love. And that terrifies hell because it is the kind of love I poured out on the cross. You don't need to become someone else to be used by me. All I ask is that you guard your heart from becoming hardened. For it is in your tenderness that I place my hand to begin healing both for you and for those you touch. Every time you choose gentleness, I am smiling. Every time you forgive, heaven opens wide. So my merciful one, never be ashamed of your soft heart. That is where I dwell. That is where my love finds room to breathe. You are not weak, you are strong in a way the world cannot comprehend. And I, who designed you this way, am so proud that you have not let darkness corrupt your inner beauty. Keep choosing kindness even when no one says thank you. Stay steadfast in gentleness even when the world pushes you toward coldness. For you are walking the path of Christ, the path that leads to true life where love conquers, hate light overcomes darkness, and mercy triumphs over power. My beloved child, how many times have you whispered, "Why is this happening to me?" How often have you looked at the chapters of your life, unable to weave them into something meaningful? You see detours, losses, people who came and went, dreams left unfinished, and you begin to wonder, Lord, am I still on the right path? To the soul that is searching, I want you to know this: nothing in your life is random. Not a single step has been beyond my reach. Not a single event has escaped my awareness. Every second, every decision, every door opened or closed has been aligned within a greater design, one that you may only see clearly when you've passed through it. Do you remember Joseph, a young man full of dreams to whom I revealed a future of influence? Yet the path to that dream began with betrayal, a pit, chains, and prison. Joseph was sold by his own brothers, falsely accused, forgotten in a foreign land. Years passed and it seemed all my promises had vanished. But my child's silence does not mean absence. In every moment Joseph endured, I was intricately weaving a master plan so that at the appointed time I would place him in command over Egypt, using him to save many nations, including the very family that betrayed him. I want you to look at that journey and understand every detail of your life, no matter how painful or confusing, is being joined together in a divine pattern. You don't need to see the whole picture to believe I am working. You just need to trust that what I have begun I will complete in my way, in my time, and according to my vision. You may be in a deep well like Joseph, abandoned by others. You may be in a prison of misunderstanding, trapped by circumstances you did not choose. But it is precisely in those places that I am laying the foundation for your rising. For the lowest place often becomes the launching pad for the highest calling. When you are rejected, I am redirecting. When you lose something, I am pruning for new growth. When you are delayed, I am shielding you from what you're not yet ready to face. These are not setbacks, they are steps in the journey to shape you into someone strong enough to carry the role I've prepared. The pain you endure today will one day become the language of healing you speak into others. Every tear, every time you felt you could not go on, I will not waste. Those moments will become the holy oil saturating your soul, making you a vessel of grace in every word, every glance, every act you offer to the people I place in your life. You may be living a chapter that isn't beautiful yet, but you don't know that I've already written the ending. And that ending is not defeat, not isolation, not a quiet conclusion. Your ending is restoration, impact, and unshakable joy, not because you've earned it, but because I am always faithful. Look at your life as a series of connected dots. Each dot may be confusing on its own, each scar may lack explanation. But when seen from above, you'll discover a crimson thread that is my abiding presence. I never promised it would be easy, but I did promise you would never walk alone. Joseph didn't know why he was sold. He didn't know why he was falsely accused. He didn't know why he was forgotten in prison. But when he looked back, he spoke words that echoed the very heart of my plan. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Genesis 5:20. Do you see? What others meant to break you, I have used to complete something good, and I will do the same with you. I am not writing a careless tale. Your life is an epic. It has dark chapters and radiant ones, moments of silence and moments of high drama. But all of it is moving toward an eternal purpose to reflect my beauty, my resilience, and my unwavering love through you. So if today you feel lost, remember, you are not off course. You're simply in an unexplained chapter. What you call delay, I call preparation. What you call a dead end, I call a turning point. What you call an ending, I am calling a beginning. Hold fast to faith, my child. This story is not over, and you are not a minor character. You are essential, a unique link, a living testimony. And through your life, with every scar, every triumph, every silent prayer, I am revealing myself to the world. So do not doubt your place in the story. Do not question your worth along the journey. Do not underestimate what I can do through every shattered part of you. You are not forgotten. You are not cast aside. You are a sacred part of an eternal plan written by my hand and lived through my very presence within you. My beloved child, perhaps there were times you whispered to me through your tears, Lord, why did you let this happen to me? Those moments when you carried pain alone, when your heart bled from betrayal, injustice, or rejection, and you began to believe that your wounds were proof I had forgotten you. You doubted my love because you could not understand how a loving God could allow such hurt. But my child, if today you hear my voice, listen to this. I never left you, not for a moment, not even in the deepest ache. I was there, in the silence, in the sleepless nights, in the sighs no one else could hear. I did not merely watch, I wept with you. You think those wounds made you weak, broken, worthless? No, my child. I did not allow them to destroy you, but to rebirth you. Every time you thought you were falling, I was quietly placing my hand beneath you. Every wound the world deemed a failure, I saw as an entryway to spiritual growth. It is precisely where you were broken that light could finally enter. And not just any light, but the light of truth, forgiveness, and wisdom that surpasses reason. Do you know that what brought you pain also opened your soul? In loss, you learned how to release. In betrayal, you chose to love without condition. In darkness, you learned to cherish the light. As the Buddhist teaching says, out of suffering wisdom is born. Just as the lotus cannot grow from dry ground, a soul cannot deepen without knowing sorrow. I am not the one who sends pain, but I am the one who transforms pain into living wisdom. Remember those days when you were fragile, confused, praying through tears. Now you look upon others with more compassion. You no longer judge so quickly. You listen more deeply, more slowly. You know when to be silent and how to hold others in kindness. These are not lessons from books. These are truths carved into your soul by blood and tears. And that is what makes you more beautiful in my eyes. You once wished to erase those scars from memory, but I want you to know I see them as sacred marks. For only those who have known pain and still choose love, who still choose to believe, who still choose to walk forward, they are the ones who truly resemble me. I do not measure you by how much you have suffered, but by how you responded to the suffering. And you, my child, have chosen beautifully. Not perfectly, but tenderly, with a heart that did not freeze in bitterness. That is a victory greater than any glory. You may think what you've endured is loss, but in my eyes it is divine refinement. Like gold in fire, like herbs ground in a mortar, like steel forged into a blade, you have been and are still being shaped for a greater purpose. And one day the very wounds you carry will be the places from which healing flows to others. You will meet a soul aching as you once did, and you will not need many words. Your eyes, your presence, your silent understanding will be balm to them. For you will not speak from theory, you will speak from a heart once broken. Do not rush to forget the past, my child. I do not call you to live chained to pain, but neither do I ask you to deny it. Because from the deepest point of your wounding, I am planting the seeds of awakening. And one day you will look back and say, Lord, I thank you, not because I hurt, but because I did not waste the pain, because you chose to let it become wisdom instead of bitterness, because you did not let it drown you, but let it teach you how to live with a true soul, with hands that lift and a life that has been refined. So do not be ashamed of what once broke you. Do not hide your wounds. Let me enter them, heal them with my love. and let them become living proof that light can be born from darkness, that hope can survive, and that wisdom can indeed rise from suffering. I am proud of you not because you never fell, but because you did not let the fall define you. You stood back up, you kept walking, and you carried not just scars but a new heart, deeper, wiser, closer to me. That, my child, is what makes me smile with joy. My beloved, after all, you have been through unfinished beginnings, unhealed wounds, journeys left incomplete. I want you to pause for a moment and hear me, not with your ears, but with your heart. You have never walked alone. Even when no one stood beside you, even when the world turned away, I was there, quiet, steadfast, unshaken. I am not only the one who began your journey, I am the one walking beside you step by step, even in your most trembling strides. You are not a lone warrior on the road of faith. You are one who has been sent and equipped with my unwavering love and presence. You may not see me, and yes, sometimes my silence may cause doubt. But like a father teaching his child to ride a bicycle, I let go, not to let you fall, but to help you trust what I've placed inside you. My silence is not absence, it is trust. Do you remember what I told Joshua? He was given a task far beyond his strength to lead a nation into the promised land. He too felt afraid, uncertain. But I said, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. And today I say the same to you with the same love, the same commitment. Wherever you go, in whatever circumstance, you are never alone. There are journeys where you felt abandoned, but those were the moments I was closest. When you were exhausted and only breathing through your final strength, I was the one who carried your soul. When you could no longer pray, it was my spirit who interceded for you with groans too deep for words. And when you thought you had lost your faith, it was I who held it for you, keeping it from being extinguished. You were chosen not because you are strong, but because you are humble and willing. I do not call the perfect. I call those who know how to rely on me. And I saw that in you, a soul that trembles yet still takes a step forward, that feels weak but still dares to pray, that stumbles yet longs to return. I did not choose you because you had it all together, but because I desire to work through you so the world may know it is I, not any human strength, who accomplishes the work. When you close your eyes and pray in the dark room, when you quietly forgive, even when no one is sorry, when you choose to love though your heart still aches, that is when you resemble me the most. And I want you to know that every small act carries great meaning in my kingdom. You are not alone. I am the one who goes before you to make the way. I am the one who walks behind you to protect you. I am the one who stays beside you to comfort you. And I am the one who lives within you to strengthen you from the inside out. Do not let your emotions deceive you into thinking I am absent. Faith does not always feel, but it is always answered. And your faith, even if only the size of a mustard seed, is enough for me to move. Keep walking even when there is no clear light. For sometimes the only light you have is my word, and that word never returns void. I did not choose you so you would figure things out on your own, but so you would walk with me in an eternal mission. You were chosen to bring love where love is lacking, to bring hope where people are slowly dying in despair. You were chosen to live a life that is not easy, but one that is worth it because it does not end here. Every step you take in this life echoes into eternity, and you do not walk without purpose. You walk with meaning. I placed you in this generation at this time in this exact position, not a single detail out of place. So do not be afraid. Even when your heart trembles, your feet grow weary, and your soul carries questions with no answers, there is one thing you can be sure of: I am walking with you. And one day when you look back, you will see every trial, every delay, every loss never slipped past my hands. They all led you deeper into me, where your life's purpose meets eternal love. My beloved child, after everything I've said to you today, I want you to remember just this: you are mine. Not because you are perfect, not because you've never failed, but because I chose you before you even understood what choosing meant. My love for you did not begin when you did the right thing, and it does not end when you make mistakes. It began in eternity, and it will endure for eternity. You are not a small soul drifting through life. You are not a blade of grass lost in a forgotten field. You are an essential part of the sacred tapestry I am weaving through every life, every moment, every crack, and every hope. Every tear you've shed I have caught. Every word you could not speak I have heard. And every dream you thought had died I have kept untouched. You have walked through things others may never see. There are silent wounds and inner turns only you understand. But it is precisely in what no one else sees that I am doing my deepest work. And dear one, I will not let your pain be in vain. I never overlook a single second of your silent endurance. I have been and still am using every piece to transform you not just into a better version, but into a carrier of my light in a world of deep shadows. If you have ever fallen, the place where you rise will become a refuge for others. If you have ever been lost, your cry on the way back will become a compass for another searching soul. You are living proof of what the world doubts, that mercy is real, that lives can be transformed, and that unconditional love is not just words. So do not go on as if you are alone. Remember, I am beside you. In every step, every decision, every torn choice, I am there. I do not promise the road will always be easy, but I do promise you will never walk it alone. I did not call you to do things that look great in the eyes of the world, but to do what is right in mine each day, step by step, with a heart full of trust. My child, do not let what is behind imprison you. Do not let fear steal what I have placed ahead. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my powerful whisper in your heart. You are forgiven. You are chosen. You are being prepared. And you are still so deeply loved, without reduction, without condition. So walk as one who knows they are loved. Live as one who knows they have a calling. Believe as one who knows that God is still writing his story through your very life. Because yes, I am still writing, and the best part of the story is still ahead. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this: you are not just an audience. You are chosen to live daily in the presence of God's Word. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any sacred message. Amen.